Hello, everyone. This is another quick impromptu video. I feel I need to respond to a number of statements that have come from Joe from Red Judaism in relation to the term um, standard Islamic narrative. I first saw it during the live chat when I got together with Al Fadi and Jay and all the others a few days ago. I saw that he was claiming that he had invented the term and that I was basically claiming it. And so I didn't really particular mind, but I did look into it. I assumed that he must have been right, and then looked into it and found that actually, no, I had been using it for an awful lot longer than he imagines. And I can prove it. And I would have let it go, except today he did another live stream again claiming it and claiming that he's changed it to standard Abbasid narrative because I have taken it from him. So really, just to I really don't want to be having to respond to these things, but I feel that I have to respond to it, unfortunately. So in any case, I'm just going to share my screen. Let me see if I can get the right one here. Murad. Okay. Right. So let me just give you the background to all of this. So this here is a video that I uploaded on the 24th of October 2019. So to put this into context, Joe got in contact with me, if my memory serves me right, in August of 2020, which would be not far off a whole year later. Okay, so that's just the context of it. And so this was a video about, it was an FAQ. I didn't use it here, but I used it in the comments below. It was in relation to that video. Let me just remind myself. Okay, so this is talking about the historical religious context of the Quran at that time. And let me just read this, probably the easiest thing. So I said, no, I remembered, but as one viewer commented before, Allah doesn't exist. So rather than give the credence to a false belief, even in jest, I discontinued it. This was in terms of, you forgot to say Allah hates that at the end of my videos. Anyway, this is all in fun anyway. Okay, let's move on. The next few weeks, I will focus on a modest task to share what the early sources say. It will be an opportunity to absorb all they say and attempt a reconstruction of what happened that might be more historically accurate than the standard Islamic, in brackets, Mark II narrative. What was it going on about here with this Mark II part? So if we go back to videos here, let's just, hopefully you can all see this. Okay, so I had, around this time, it was a little bit earlier in the year, I had done my first video with Jay. So that's in 2019. So this is when I made the comment about this standard Islamic Mark II narrative. Obviously, this is an extension of standard Islamic narrative. So what was I talking about? I was talking about a series that I was going to do about the early sources, and I think it started with this one, if I remember correctly. This is looking at early sources to do with Muhammad's death. Then I went into the Arab conquest, 636, Thomas the Presbyter, Doctrine of Jacobi, Apocalypse of Shimon. And so what was I trying to do? I was trying to get into the earliest sources to kind of come up with what was the standard Islamic narrative in the 7th century, because presumably they had one before the Abbasid one. And that's what it was aiming to do. And so you can see in the context, the plan that I had mentioned was to do a series of future videos. As you can see, these are the videos after. So this comment obviously can be before these videos were made. Okay, as you can see, it continues. Jacob of Edessa, I think that might have been the last one. And then there's the official collaboration with Murad at that stage. So as you can see, this is long before Joe ever came on the scene. So sorry to have to tell you, Joe, but you're talking baloney. You obviously have got a vivid imagination. I think I've proved pretty conclusively that I've been using this term. You've seen an extension of the term, as 2 years ago, and I've been using variations of it. I haven't had time to go through all the videos, but I'm pretty certain if we go through some of these early videos, you'll probably see me using it from time to time. I didn't think too much of the term at the time, but it definitely was a term that I had to come up with to describe what I was doing, because it was talking about the fact that there was an earlier narrative and then a later narrative, and the earlier narrative was got rid of. I was trying to explain the blank that's in the history. There's a missing chunk of time from the supposed time of Muhammad all the way to the time of the first Sirah in the 760s. Now, I didn't assume that there was no narratives, and so there was an original narrative, which would have been the standard narrative, or the standard Islamic narrative, and that's why I refer to the standard Islamic Mark II narrative. I really should have put brackets around the Mark II to make it make more sense. Let me come back to you there. I hope that kind of makes sense. So interesting to see what you think of all of that. Hello to Marek. Hello to Sergeant Grench. Let's roll more information. Murad says, I used to say those words also. I think Annie could say it. It was just funny when you combined it into sen. Yeah, and the moment, and actually I probably didn't even coin the term, but I was definitely using it for that length of time. All I'm trying to prove here is that Joe did not give me that term. I had been using it, and no doubt, as Murad says, he was using it as well. Murad says I personally say Islamic tradition. Hello to Dafid Apris. Good day from Australia. Thanks very much. I heard it first when Jay talked with Paul Ellis. Well, you can have a look to December 2020. Actually, I can tell you the date, December 22nd. This sounds so petty, but unfortunately I've had to be forced into this. December 22nd, 2020, I was using standard Islamic narrative, and because I was going to be going from the northern narrative to the southern narrative, I rather than typing it all out, I was just being lazy, to be honest with you, and it just puts, okay, it's SIN, and I put that as the word instead, and you can see the reaction of Jay for the first time hearing it. I just thought it was funny. It's just my sense of humor just doing that. The phrase is funny for sure. Good for Mel for coining it. It's my sense of humor. I just I don't understand why Joe has come out with this. He probably is using it so often. He now thinks he came up with it, but I can prove it. And Sergeant Grinch, I don't like baloney. I can tell you for a fact, Joe did not coin the phrase. He's lost the plot. You've got to do a deep dive to get below the sen. Indeed. The book of sen is the Quran. Very good. Yeah. I think he just wants to go under my skin. Yeah, I think so, and it's probably worked. And I've done the very one thing I shouldn't be doing. But to be honest, as Murad will probably say, I don't normally give a damn about legacy. I would normally say anything I do, you can have it. I give it away for free. I know there are people who are reproducing my material in other countries, claiming it as their own. I don't care. But I think for this, I think it has annoyed me somewhat, not that very much, but I just want to set the record straight. Um, Let me just have a look here. I've looked at the Ngram viewer and I can't find it whatsoever, and that is from 1500 to 2019, so it's pretty recent. Could you just follow up on that? Is this like the I think there's something that Google has which analyzes the use of phrases and so on. Is that what you mean by that? It can give you an indication of when a term first came into use. Yeah. Um, all I know is I didn't get it from anyone else. As far as I understand it, I put it together. I think anyone could come up with a term like standard Islamic narrative. To be honest, it wasn't particularly a genius move in any case. But well, thank you very much, Tim Kelly. That's or TM Kelly. That's very decent of you. Yes, Google Ngram viewer. Fantastic. Okay, so it gives you an idea when the term was used. Yeah, it's a pretty recent term. I'm pretty certain if I were to go through all my videos in 2019, you'll probably see, or I probably will see the use of the term then. So I think this is closed as far as I'm concerned. I hope that's the end of the matter. And yeah, it's a pity. It's been bandied around now, but and the claim has been made. I really feel bad having to make this video. I feel it's really petty, but anyway, what's done is done. Have a nice Christmas, everyone. I will be producing a couple of more videos and releasing them in the coming days. So that's it from me. And thank you again to TM Valley for the super sticker. It's very, very decent of you. Just last one point. The guy who created the holes in the narrative led the way towards standard Islamic narrative. Now, actually, you can check the record. Yasser Qadi used the term standard narrative in June 2020. So this is 7 or 8 months before him. I'm not suggesting he got it from me, but I didn't take it from him. Okay. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Have a good Christmas, all of you, and talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.